Okay, I'm back with better lighting. See, now you can see the mark that it makes, which is pretty fun to look at. I'm going to get some of this gesso here. It's Deco Art white gesso, and I've got my little smearing thingamajig. I know it's got a real name, but I don't know what the real name is, so I'm just calling it my smearing thing. And this is what I'm going to do. All right, we're going to put that down. All right, so we're going to let this dry completely because then I might try to write over it. Okay, so here you can see that I've pasted this on here, and sorry about that, and I pasted that on here. The next thing I think is going to happen is first I have to rescue my cat, or rescue my paintbrush from my cat, which is right here. Can't let him ruin my fan brush. That would not be good. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this gesso with some water, a little bit of water right there, and I'm going to just go over it with a little bit of watery gesso. The way I do that is that I dip the brush into the now I got gesso all over my fingers. Is that I dip the brush in a little bit of water, and then I go here, and then I dip it back again, and then I go like that. And see, it's magic, you can still see it. But it's cool because it adds a whole different, like, it just adds a little something different to your painting, to your, whatever it is that you're doing this on. So there's that. And then if I really want to make it, I can do that. See? And I went over it, you know, with my brayer that I always go over it with. And I'll show you again. It's just dip it in the water, dip it in that, and then you dip it back again. Once again, I have to scream at my cat. All right, there we go. You know what I do? I have a bottle of water. I have a spray bottle with water that I use on him. So when he gets, because he likes to play with the electrical cords. It's annoying as hell. So, and I don't like that, obviously, because the last time he played with the electrical cords, my phone wouldn't charge. So, this is kind of how I'm working this. And it just adds a little bit of extra something to it that you can see there. It does something a little bit different to it, and I really like that. The next thing I'm going to do is add some color, but for that I have to wait for this to completely dry, so we're going to do that. Okay, so here we go. We've got this, which is my, I don't know, spackle thingy. Got some turquoise colored paint, and my handy dandy brush. And I'm just going to dip the brush in there and just do that. You don't have to worry about how neat it looks or anything like that. It's meant to be abstract, so it's not necessarily something that has to look perfect. Life isn't perfect, so why should your art be? You know? Don't worry about if you do use cutout words or whatever. Don't worry about them getting sort of painted over, not being able to read it. That's not the point. The point of adding words or phrases or whatever to your artwork is just that it's just the added texture and things like that to your painting. It's not really, you know, anything else. So that's what it looks like right now. We're gonna let this dry and then come back to it with another color. Okay, gonna get a darker shade of blue, see, and use this here. There. Now. I always wipe my paintbrushes on copy paper because afterwards I use all the painted pages that have also made art, you know, that's also kind of art, I guess. I cut them up and I make small books out of them. I like to do that. There's this little air bubble there that's bothering me a lot, so I'm kind of going over that, but other than that, that's what I got so far. Now, I'm going to take some pink paint and, oh, god damn it. No, nothing, I just dropped a cap. I'm going to use some of this hot pink Americana paint by DecoArt, and what I'm going to do is splatter it a little bit, just like that. Just like that. All right. Now we're going to let that dry so that we can work on the next step. Okay. So here's the thing. I absolutely hate waiting for paint to dry, and you can see that that's that's going to probably take a little time that I don't feel like waiting. So I'm going to take this copy paper that I got here, and I'm just going to, I press it lightly with my fingers, but I go like that. Also very lightly with my brayer. Nothing too major. And there. And there. You've made a really interesting mark on your paper. Then we're going to take another sheet of paper. I got to get some more copy paper. And do this. Again, made a print on there, and it made a print there. It makes it more interesting. You can go over it again if you really want to. Again, super light, not, you know, you're not pressing down with all your might, you know, as if you're, you know, the weight of the world depends on it. But we're going to sit here and then think about what we're going to do next. Okay, so I've got some orange paint here, and of course, again, DecoArt Americana Neon Orange, and they're kind of similar colors, sort of. You can see this one is slightly brighter. We're going to take, I had a paper towel somewhere. Oh well. Here we go. Paper towel. Now, we're going to dip the brush in there, and I think I want to see this covered like that. And just go over the edge there. And maybe a little bit right there. And then what we're going to do is dip it then in the Americana Neon Orange and mix the two colors together so they can make music together. It makes a nice, it mixes pretty nicely like that. Having technical difficulties with my paintbrush there. I just kind of woke up and decided to paint. So, though by the time I actually publish this, it won't be morning, but oh, there. Now, you know how I roll with my brayer. Haha, that was corny. Sorry for the mom joke, but I am a mom, so I guess it's a prerequisite that I make mom jokes. There. So this is what we've got so far. Looks interesting. I have this little strip of paper that I was going to put on there. I was going to glue it, and now I don't know where it is. I don't know what happened to it. What's this? Oh, this is a blank sheet of paper. Well, I don't need that. What did I need? Oh. I have this little sheet of paper. So I'm going to stick this right there, I think. I'm going to glue that and then let this all dry again and think of my next step. All right, so I've got some black gesso. I painted that on there. I like how it looks. so far. This is the entire page right now, and I found this little feather that I really like a lot, so I might use that maybe. What else? And I've got some pink acrylic paint. That was just my cat being a terror. He's kind of an asshole sometimes. I'm not sure if I want to incorporate this stencil that I found. You know that if you've followed me for a while, you know that I am kind of stencil happy. So I might actually do that. But I'm still waiting for the paint to dry a little bit, because if I don't wait for the paint to dry, then it gets all like the, you know, then the colors kind of mix together with the misting, with the misters and stuff like that, if I choose to use misters. Because with this, you know, with stencils, you can use acrylic paint. And then that's a question of what color would I use, which I think I might go with this black gesso, do some black feathers on there, and then kind of dab them. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I had to stop because I had to get new paint water. So we've got the stencil here and the black gesso. And I'm just going to very lightly... See, I didn't wait for the paint to dry because I was too impatient, but it's okay. When you're brushing paint over stencils, you want to do it kind of light. You don't want to go all heavy and exaggerated, because then I find that when you do that, the paint doesn't, you know, you don't make a very good clear image with the stencil. So, and that's what obviously you want. You want to make a good clear print of your image with the stencil. So you can try your hand at making your own stencils. If you're not confident in your drawing skills, you know, you could always trace something that you find. If you find a feather, you can trace it, or you can use like, you can do like a Google search for like, I don't know, images or whatever, print them out if you want to, if you have a printer, and you know, just trace that onto a stencil paper. For stencil paper, you can use different things for stencil paper. You know, I found at Joann's, they have actual like stencil sheets like that you could make your own stencils with, which is freaking really cool. So what I'm gonna do is... What's the matter, kitty cat? Where are you? I hear you, but I don't see you. Oh, there you are. There, you want to see my cat? That is my cat. He's not confined to a cage. He's just being that way because he wants to. He's saying hello. Say hi, Ozzy. See, he said hello. All right. So now, I know you want my attention. You're just going to have to wait a minute. So now what we do is we're going to lift this up, and hopefully it did what we want it to. And yes, it did. That looks pretty friggin' cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the dirty stencil, and I'm going to make a print of the waist on here. I do that because A, I don't like to waste any paint, and B, like I said before, I use the copy paper to make miniature books. So, and I really like the reverse look a lot, so I might actually have... I'm running out of copy paper. I forgot about that. All right, so for this, we definitely have to wait for this to dry, and then decide if we're finished or not. Or should we do another one? Yeah, why don't we do that? Okay. I'm going to do another print of this. Same exact thing I did here, just going to do it right here. Let this dry and come back for the next step. Okay, so I decided I'm going to leave the the feathers to be black like that, and just going to take some pink paint. Oh, there's my other paintbrush. And I'm just gonna do this because my daughter asks me sometimes, she's like, Mama, why do you paint so many clouds? I said, I don't know. It's just my thing. I love clouds. I'm sorry if it's hard to see. I'm a lefty, so it can be a little difficult to film any kind of thing that I do with my hands because, you know, because the darn left hand always gets in the way. So I painted a pretty little cloud here. And again, I said earlier, don't worry about things that you pasted on there not being able to be seen. Yes, Ozzy, what do you need? I told you I'm painting right now. You have food and you have your litter box. What more do you need? You want attention? There he is. Yeah, he wants attention, and then the minute I give it to him, he walks away. Maybe he just wants to be a YouTuber, too. Did I ever think about that? No, I only think about myself. I'm sorry, Ozzy. Do you want to be a YouTuber, too? What shall I YouTube about? How you terrorize my poor little Chiweenie dog? I have a Chiweenie dog. She's a Chihuahua and a weenie mix. And she's absolutely beautiful. So there is that. I know it looks a little strange to me, but here, there. Now I feel like it looks a little bit better. That looks interesting. Perfect. Okay, so I think that I'm probably done here. I'm pleased with how it looks. Of course, you know, you could always go back and add more things to it, which, oh, you know what I think I have? I have some blue. How about we take, or green rather, sorry, it's green. And what I'm going to do is take a little bit of green and do this with it. Sometimes I have to like stop myself because I will just keep going and adding more things to it and more things, and then it just gets like, you know, the art of abstract art isn't anything but knowing when the painting is done and when you've successfully made your statement. This painting is for my children. Up until most recently, I had you know, technically it was joint custody, but it was really sole custody because it was just me all the time with them. And now I have proper joint custody, which means I see them half the time that I used to, which is a blessing, you know, in a way. You know, it's nice to have a break, and it's nice that, you know, the father's involved and everything like that. But it also gets to where I miss them. So maybe that's what this means. All right, so this is done. This is what the page looks like. I'm going to let this dry and then post pictures on my website. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's and also go to my website. It's thecraftaholic.com. On the blogs page is where I'll have pictures of everything and a list of brands that I used in making this painting. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.